Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Butta, right? It comes with the territory. It's actually Butta, but used to be longer. Italian immigrant, that's how it works, right? We're going to have a very interesting chat about a really interesting brand and a super talented creative director. Speak up. Yeah, sorry, I've lost my voice.
Aim it. Aim it. Yeah, get it.
Does that work better? Okay, thank you. What are you doing tonight? Right. No. So just a little bit about Airship. So I'm the head of strategy and marketing and partnerships and business development for Airship. We're a software company, and we are the guys that are helping to make your app for South by actually work better. And probably on your phones, we are powering most of those apps. So from Starbucks to Chipotle, which maybe not a good thing to say here in avocado country, but and many brands. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to James. James is creative director at Lego with the best business card ever. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. So James, tell us a little bit about how you actually got to Lego.
Okay. So how did I get to Lego? I've tried to figure out a way to say this. It doesn't make it sound like my father has passed away. He's not. He's alive and he's well. But my fondest memories as a child was playing with Lego sets with my dad. Right, 8 years old. It was a big part of my childhood, and never once did I plan it to become a job. So I'm very humble that that is where I am now. And my background, I guess, was how I sort of describe it is traditionally nonlinear. I worked in PR in the agency world for about 8 years. Never once wrote a press release, so that was sort of my odd claim to fame. I did what I thought was the fun part of the PR world. Sorry, PR people. But it was everything from digitizing physical events, physical experiences, webinars, blogger relations. I'm really dating myself now. It was those sort of stuff. And I was a digital native, right? So my generation were the sort of first real, what I consider digital natives, and I grew up on the computer. I grew up with social media for the most part, and that really sort of snowballed. So I left the agency world, went on to start up my own consultancy, doing a realm of different things. I do have a fine arts degree as a creative director, although that was never the aspiration or the plan. Started up my own consultancy, ended up unknowingly getting connected to Lego's former PR agency, worked on a handful of clients, a handful of projects with them, and then got the opportunity to work on a couple Lego projects. They asked me to join their digital team, and 7 years later, I'm now a creative director within their internal creative agency. So super fun, definitely a dream job. I have the best client in the world.
And the company's headquartered?
So the global headquarters is based in Billund, Denmark, which is about 2 hours north of Copenhagen. And the U.S. headquarters is currently based in Enfield, Connecticut, a little bit out of the middle of nowhere. We are moving to Boston in 2026.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm a hardcore New York sports fan, so we're not a fan of that move.
Does everybody here actually own a Lego set at some point in your life? Yeah.
Everybody's hands, come on. There's more.
How many people have bought Legos for other people?
In the last year.
In the last, there you go.
More hands should go up, but that's okay.
Okay, and who's visited Legoland?
Okay, good.
And how about a Lego store?
There we go.
Okay, so you've got a lot of stores.
We do have a lot of stores.
Tell us about the store experience and the Legoland experience and why that's important.
I mean, I think the brand is originally known as a toy, right? That was what its heritage was built on. But our CMO awfully talks about this idea of aspiring to be this experience brand, right? So in the same way that when you open up an Apple iPhone that you receive, and there is that really high-end, really luxury packaging experience, that same experience is mirrored in the Apple Store, right? And we're trying to bring that and have that sort of same environment happen within our Legoland experiences, within our physical store experiences. So we're big into experiences.
Are you saying people don't actually look at the instructions for Lego building?
They can. It's up to them. We are an open-ended creativity tool. So while we have instructions, you could absolutely build how you like.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool because there's kits that are supposed to be built a certain way, but then there's what else you might do differently, right?
Yep, absolutely. I think that's one of the most heartwarming parts about working at Lego, right, is that we are a tool that is predicated on creative problem solving, and so that physical experience in a world of very digital experiences, I think it's wonderful to be able to have something that isn't an iPad, as a parent.
Okay, so you're a digital native, but yeah, you're talking about a lot of these physical experiences, and you just brought up this sort of digital, physical melding. I mean, how do you make those two work together? Because it's more than just the store experience, right?
Yeah, it's a tough question, right? And a bit of philosophical one, right? We are a physical building experience. That is the core value of our product. But at the same time, and maybe we could argue about this, the world isn't going to become any less digital, right? It's only going to become more digital. So we can't ignore where those audiences are. They are in a digital environment. So we have to create experiences and build opportunities that do live in the digital world, but that still bring in that premium physical experience that you all know about Lego, right? So I'm sure a lot of people have heard about the Epic partnership that we have, right? That is a lot about, without me telling too much, is a lot about bringing Lego into the digital world in a high-end premium space.
You mentioned partnerships.
Yes.
You have a very interesting partnership developing right now with a very, very well-known brand. I think there's a speaker here from that brand.
Yay. Yes. Partnerships are a big part of what we do. I often talk about, our partnerships team do incredible things to keep our brand super relevant, right? Whether it's the Home Alone set and the very premise of launching that set around Christmas time, right? The millennial hardcore fan of me is just like loving that. And I absolutely built that set while watching Home Alone for Christmas. Favorite holiday movie. Something that I'm really, really excited and my team is leading right now is our global partnership with D100 with Disney. So celebrating Disney's 100 years and really bringing the best of Lego Disney and the Lego brand and sort of imagination and creativity and merging that with the incredible storytelling capabilities that Disney has been so well known for. So I can't share too much. I wish I could. But there's a lot of content that is coming out within the next, I think, week that my team has been driving, and it's been an absolute honor to be a part of bringing those two such iconic brands together to tell awesome creativity stories.
That's really cool, really cool. So, as creative director, you're obviously hired for your own inspiration, and ideation. But how do you motivate and inspire others?
Yeah, it's a question I get often, right? And I think the world of COVID has dramatically changed how you lead, right? Everyone that's managed people through COVID, it's a pretty big learning experience, right? I remember, in the early days of COVID, overseeing my direct reports of 8 people. And every single one of those 8 people had a different life experience that they were dealing with, right? Whether they were single and living alone, or living with a family, or a single mom, whatever it was. That was like a real learning experience to understand that every single person had a very different living experience and therefore working experience. So for me, my goal is to make sure that my team is always constantly thinking about the external world. Right, so there's a number of initiatives that we have. I bring in external speakers every month. We have this thing called Brick Talk, where it's no one from the toy category. It has nothing to do with the toy category. I brought in a therapist who's popular on TikTok to talk about how he built his community, and then he actually shared a lot about how play, just the pure act of play, is a very important element in his practice. I brought in the head of open innovation at GM, talking about how failing forward is basically their KPI. Their goal isn't always to put something on shelf or out in the marketplace. It's to learn in any way they can, right? So I'm very big in that external inspiration space as well. I'm always constantly looking at what's happening on the internet. While it may be a pretty toxic place from time to time, there's some crazy things that are out there, right? From the latest Emirates cat TikTok video that has like 8.5 million views. Have you seen that? Yeah, Google that and you'll question what your social media team does. But it's a wild world, the internet.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what inspires you? I mean, where do you find inspiration? You referenced a lot of like non-traditional.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've actually heard of a therapist being invited into a creative team. I mean, maybe they've been suggested that people would meet, but
yeah. I mean, I often talk about my personal YouTube experience from a consumption standpoint, right? That whole act of what's on my homepage, right? When I open the app, what's on my homepage? Why is it on my homepage? What's influencing that algorithm today, right? And I'm taking that in. Why did I click on that video versus another video? What is it about that thumbnail that made me do that, right? To what's a pre-roll that gets served, right? Is it a pre-roll that I skip immediately? Sorry, advertisers, including me. Or is it in the gold standard, is it a pre-roll that I don't skip and I watch the whole thing? And why is it, right? All the way through to how long do I stay in the video, right? So those are sort of the small levels of inspiration that I take. But then, I, for lack of, for better or for worse, I consume a great deal of information, right? So in the world of disconnected, more digital teams, we have a channel that the entire internal agency can view, and there's about 8 editors, those that have rights publishing access, and we publish everything from the strange cat video that the Emirates posted on their TikTok to Mint Mobile's first ad when ChatGPT came out, and they asked ChatGPT to write an ad, right? All those sort of things. I think there's things that people can take great inspiration from if they're so hungry, right? So one of the big things I look for in my team and in new hires is curiosity. I think curiosity in the world that we live in now is so important, because it's very easy to be sort of very narrowly tunnel vision and focused and myopic. So yeah.
So one of the things I'm curious about is how you serve so many. It seems like you have so many different audiences. You have this group, right? You have young children, and then you have probably grandparents who are purchasing. How do you serve and maintain a brand to all of those audiences?
Yeah, I think for me, right, as a creative director, my goal is to try and deliver the most concise, contextually relevant message to a certain audience. So I'm always encouraging my stakeholders, whether it's someone in brand marketing or someone in sustainability, whoever it may be, to try and be really strategic about who we want to reach, right? Yes, we have a product for everyone, and that's by design, right? But at the same time, we want to make sure that from a creative standpoint, that I can put something out there in the world that is going to really, truly cut through the noise. And there is a lot of noise, right? I said it myself. I'm consuming a huge amount of information, a huge amount of content. I take a lot of what I do and what my team does from a consumption standpoint and try and bridge that with what the objective is with this brief, or who I'm trying to reach with that brief, and how can I really cut through the noise.
What's the brand platform? I think I know the answer to this and really like it. But
it is a good one, right? So for us, our brand platform is inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow, right? And that is literally our mission statement. I like to say that we should all have tattoos about it. I'm not that crazy, but it really is.
Today the business card, tomorrow the tattoo,
sure,
right?
Yeah. We have plenty of employees with tattoos. Lego tattoos, I meant. No, but I think, listen, there is, I like to say that Lego was purpose-driven before that was cool and trendy, right? And I think that's one thing that is humbling about working for the brand that we do. It literally is purpose-driven by the very nature of that product, right? And being a parent of 3 young kids, I know all the time that I tell my kids to get off the iPad or stop watching TV, and I'll never tell them to stop playing with Lego. That's not just because I work for them, but it's because of what it means, right? It's the same thing of coloring, or it's that creative expression, and I think it's a wonderful mission statement that is very easy to get behind.
Yeah, builders of tomorrow. I think that's really broad, and who cannot really get behind that, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Did you come up with that?
No.
Okay.
Many smart people way before me came up with that.
All right. So, do you guys have an app?
We got
A builder app? Or?
many apps, many apps. All sorts of different apps, from Lego Life, which is our COBA compliant sort of kids brand expression, where kids can share their builds in a COBA compliant way.
Like a community?
Yes, yeah. Dare I say it's a social network for kids around Lego. And then we have a number of different sort of theme level apps, whether it's games. We've got a lot of games. Speaking about that digital space, yeah, many apps.
Is it challenging to actually have many apps as opposed to finding what you want in one app?
I think so. I mean, I think, you said it yourself, right? We have a brand that has an expression for everyone, right? And whether you're a parent of a toddler or you're a kid that loves playing Lego Star Wars, there is an app for you, right? So I think that is by design. Although I would definitely envision a world whereby maybe a consolidation of apps happens. But you know better than I do, right, that the app space is flooded with unused apps. How do you fix it?
Yeah, for sure. Do you know that I think it's 1 out of 10 people remain a customer after downloading an app.
Yeah.
So for all the advertisers out there, you spend all this money, download the app, and at 30 days later, only 10% of that audience remains. But if you can keep that audience, you actually can see 3 to 4 times the value of an app customer versus a non-app customer.
I believe it.
So, I mean, some of our customers, Home Depot, a shoe company in Portland, Oregon, that people might be wearing, a coffee company that people might have stopped by. Those companies are reporting how successful their app customers or digital customers are.
Yeah.
Because it's the place where people transact. What's fascinating about it from a creative standpoint is it's it's a small window, and you need to manage that experience in such a tight way.
Yes.
So the experience becomes super important, which ties back to what you do. So I think that would be really challenging, right, for a brand like Lego.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, listen, keeping one's attention. Again, I'm the focus group here. I've got 3 kids under 5. I watch them, on YouTube, and their attention is being destroyed by that thing. And I'm a lovely YouTube user, right? So I think, audience attention is the number one thing that we're all looking for, right? That we're all looking to do. And from a creative direction standpoint, it's the number one thing that I'm trying to deliver, right? I want to be able to deliver content, a message, some form of communication that actually translates and resonates.
So I've got a bunch more questions, but rather than wait to the end, how about if we open it up for some questions with the audience now? Okay? Anyway, yeah, right over here.
Cool.
Your name and who you are, please.
Sure. My name is Audrey. I'm from Axiom Space, marketing team. I'm curious, how much of your advertising budget do you spend on your license and partner projects versus original?
Good question.
Original projects?
I don't have the data behind that to answer it scientifically, but I will tell you that for the most part, right, our media budgets are allocated based on the number of SKUs, to the business opportunity within that sort of theme or SKU. So it depends. Year to year, theme to theme, it really does depend. Sorry for the non-answer.
Hi, Mike Vivolo. How do you guys? I'm assuming you get approached from outside, like IP, a lot to make. How do you determine how you're gonna explore working with
Sure. So I'll just caveat, that is not my responsibility. That is another team's responsibility, and they do a really good job of doing that. And I think it goes back to what is our audience objective, right? What audiences are we trying to gain? And I look at, and I don't know for sure, but I'm taking an educated guess here, right? We put out to market, is it 3 or 4 sports soccer stadiums, global soccer stadiums, right? Barcelona, Madrid. I should know the other one. Old Trafford, right? So Spain, Manchester United, England. And that was based, I'm assuming, right, that it's tied to a passion point of sports. We don't have a real big foothold in sports, but, sports, adults, great combination. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I imagine the conversation goes a little bit like, that's an audience we don't have a foothold in. Let's give it a shot.
We have another one back here.
Maybe you answered this already, so stop me. But everyone is your audience.
Yes.
So how do you build creative that can be used holistically across audiences, or do you build creative like specifically for each age group, audience target, interest group? Like, how do you think about creative in that way?
Sure. So my stakeholder would like me to create creative for everybody, right? But as a creative director, that's the last thing I want to do, right? So I work really closely with my strategy team to, stakeholders listening, break them down into what is their priority, right? Who are their priorities? What are their top 3 priorities, so that I can make sure that what I'm delivering is of value, right? Because one message is not going to resonate with everybody. One message might resonate with, say, all Harry Potter fans, for example, right? But even then, right, the Harry Potter work that my team's putting out right now, there's a different communication that lives on social, which is a 13+ audience, versus the online video component, which is probably a co-view audience. So I try and get them to narrow it down the best they can, against their will.
There's one over here.
And that was Jessica from Coinbase. By the way, nice gal, not the best listener, but nice gal. So name and where you're from.
Jessica from Coinbase, thank you. This is Dan from Iris. Easy question. What's your favorite part about your job?
Ooh, the favorite part about my job. Man, there's a lot of favorite parts. Okay, I mean, it's really easy, and it's my minifigure, right? Like, it's by far the coolest thing ever. I never thought that would be a thing. But listen, seriously, probably the favorite part of my job is being really purpose-driven brand, right? We get to help give kids a creative outlet. And I have 3 kids, so I am the target audience, and it is magical, and I say that with no uncertain terms, to see my kids experience that product in a way that is intended, right? And it's better than an iPad. Sorry.
It's so cool to see them do the thing that you used to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is timeless. 90 years old.
You have tiny little fingers making some really cool things. Right.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't that go there, right? Of course. Any other questions?
Yeah, go ahead. Name and where you're from.
Thanks. Alex from Fun Day. We're from Toronto. You have so many different products at Lego, physical products. There's Legoland, digital experiences. How do you get maybe a child or an adult who buys a Lego set to then engage in a digital experience and then maybe go to Lego? I mean, how do you get them to go down that rabbit hole? I mean, are there strategic initiatives that you have that drive that?
Simple way to do that is QR codes on the box, QR codes on the instructions, right? And I think building a value-add experience that makes that physical building experience even better, right? So we have products on shelf that are predicated on that to some extent. But again, it is a pretty big philosophical discussion for us as a brand that is predicated on a physical building experience, and we want to complement that physical experience and not overwhelm it with digital. Sorry, digital advertisers.
Yeah. Go ahead. Same, please. Name and where you're from.
Hi, Julie King with Brandwatch. You talk a lot about catching attention. Do you have a proudest success story of a time you've really been able to catch attention quickly?
Oh man, proudest moment that I've been able to catch attention. I used to run our social studio, right, which was about 3 years ago, predicated on real-time social content, as well as sort of organic social content. So we've had a handful of really fun things from, probably the best one was maybe poking fun at the Tesla Cybertruck announcement, and watching that just get wild amount of coverage. It didn't come out of my team per se, and then see it take off and get mainstream media is pretty wild.
I've got one for you. So it's for a client, right? So I was the CMO at Sprinkler, which was a social media management platform. Anyway, one of our big customers was McDonald's. And as everybody in this room knows, particularly in a morning after a night, right? You wish you can get an Egg McMuffin at a time after 10 o'clock in the morning.
Me.
Right? And so someone on social media sent in a suggestion, why can't you serve breakfast all day? The big product team came up with this concept of all-day breakfast. It was the second highest, most successful product launch. And we went all the way back through the social conversation to find that individual and rewarded them.
Love it.
That was an inspirational idea that came directly from the market, as they often do. So I was going to ask you actually about the fun. I would think the most fun job besides yours at Lego would be in product development.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm envisioning the movie Big with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Like he becomes the kid and he becomes this creative director and the CEO's like, it's a toy company and he's playing like a child. How does your product team act like?
I mean, they're the superstars, right? Yeah. I say them, and then we have the master model builders. They're the ones that make the life-size models that you see at Comic-Con and those sort of things. They are also the magic makers, if you will. But I was just on set with a product designer behind one of our SKUs, and they are the most humble, sweet, thoughtful people, and they love the product for the most part, right? That's what they're doing, and they do incredible things with the product, right? So I can't go into too much detail, but some of the stuff that we're working on with Disney is related to a certain product that will be available soon, this Bill and Denmark-based designer flew all the way to LA to sit through 2 days of LA's winter about 2 weeks ago, which was horrible. But we, filmed a whole piece about the magic of the set and brought someone in from the Disney world to talk about components of the set. It's really hard not to talk about what it is because I can't. But they're amazing. They are the actual rock stars, and I'm floored by how gracious they are with their time, how passionate they are about the product. They do some amazing things.
Do you interact with them? In the work?
Quite often, right? In terms of bringing a product to life, we regularly, we actually have a role on set called a toy doctor, right? Which is someone from that team to make sure that the product is being expressed or displayed in the right way. I think that's probably the best job title of all time.
Toy doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Master builder, toy doctor, I don't know.
Thanks, Jerry from National Cinemedia. You mentioned the Disney tie-in. You guys have your own IP around film and a lot of movies where you support with product. Is there a particular initiative you're excited about around upcoming movie that you're working on or potentially working on?
Yes.
That's a leading question.
That's about as all I can say is yes. Yes, there's a lot of things I'm very excited about. As I said, I think our partnership team does an incredible job of ensuring that our product is continually relevant, not just within the sort of the common areas, but also within brand new audiences, right? I talk about, the Home Alone set as like the perfect experience. That was just a one-off IP partnership launched in November, but wildly successful and awesome. You should all buy that set. But unfortunately, I can't talk about anything that's coming out that. Last year. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
You talk a lot about Home Alone. Is that your favorite Lego kit?
No, it's not my favorite,
Okay.
probably. But I guess if that's a question, the millennial me loves the Nintendo Entertainment System set, which is like just to my core, my millennial core. I love it.
The what? The
It's
what?
it's a Lego build of the Nintendo Entertainment
Oh,
System.
got it.
So you literally can plug the Lego built cartridge into the thing and click it. It's yeah.
Anybody else fans of that? Oh yeah, look, he's okay.
Yes, I do like the Adidas shell top shoes, even though I'm not wearing them. But that's fine. Yes.
What's the most expensive Lego kit?
I think right now it's the Millennium Falcon. It's $849. You should all buy one too, if you want. Yeah. Take a while to build.
So I'm curious, is there, do you track like usage and how people buying time after time and?
Yes, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think retention. We track standard marketing analytics, right, from retention to increasing the bottom line to targeting certain audiences. We definitely do. I think it depends on. The objective, the stakeholder, all those sort of components. It's very purpose-driven behind what we do. It's not a one-fits-all.
We use our own this sort of tagline that life gets better. Life gets better with better app experiences.
Yep.
I think we all probably can attest to that.
Yep.
When you have a bad one, it's so damn frustrating.
Yes.
When you have a good one, life gets a little bit better. Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you for notifying me that whatever happened, right?
Yes.
And I like how that applies actually to your purpose, right?
Yeah, no, I think I definitely. I mean, I think, listen, we like to say we have a product for every stage of your life, right? Like any good global brand should, right? Whether it's Duplo, which is our 1+
Starter.
product, to 4+, obviously for 4 years old and plus, all the way through to our adult SKUs, which are those Millennium Falcon, more expensive, more complex products. So we do have something for everyone, but at the same time, for me, so the exciting stuff that we get to work on is maybe not so much those big flashy products that everyone sees on social. It's much more on the say lower price point stuff, or how can we get people that believe the product isn't for them into their hands, whether that could be Duplo, again, which is our +1 product, or our low price point SKUs in Walmart, for example.
That's it. So, and I think there's nothing not to like about Lego. So that's yeah. I mean, it's sort of like you can only screw up probably if you do your job badly.
Well,
because people just love Lego, I think.
Yes, I mean, there is definitely some truth to that. I mean, I think for us, it's much more about not screwing up, right? We work very hard on not screwing up, but just making sure that, again, we're very, very purpose-driven behind what we do. We're not doing it just for the sake of it. And also, we have those high-affinity fans that love our product. How can we do something to reach other fans that might not think that product's for them?
So you talk a lot about the experience. Do you feature the product more versus the customer experience more?
So for me, as a creative director, right, I'm often asked to sell the product, right, with what I do in my ads or my content. I try and tell my stakeholders that there's many other areas of the business that are focused on selling the product. So let me and my team create some maybe more engagement-related content with a longer tail approach, which then also serves me because I get to create cooler stuff from an entertainment standpoint, right? So I think some of the stuff that you'll see hit various channels for our Disney 100 partnership is much predicated on that, right? It's a year-long program that our team is delivering in, right, from Q1 celebrating their sort of hashtag brand campaign, which is Share the Wonder, all the way through to what we're putting out in Q2 and Q3, and obviously, not surprising, in Q4, which is a much more commercial oriented message, right? But I think that Q2 and Q3 expression, while it wasn't an easy sell, is much more predicated on entertainment and engagement, and much less predicated on that product on shelf, go buy it.
Well done. Yeah. Well, and you have a whole year of a
We
campaign.
do.
That's fantastic.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, a lot of fun.
All right, we're going to wrap up. I'm going to do some quick rapid fire questions. Unless
Okay.
there's another question from the audience. Yeah? Anyone?
Oh,
Yeah.
two.
Oh, this will be
Fuck
good.
off.
I'm going this way.
All right.
Would you help? There you go. Yeah. Name and where you're from.
Hi, Gabby from NARS.
Ooh.
Have you ever thought about layering in AR experiences to help enhance like what your builders are doing?
We have, and we have. Twice. We've done it twice. I think the reality is that it hasn't worked in the way that we had hoped. But I think there's a lot of opportunity to do so. And, AR technology is only getting better, so I hope that what we put out there is more popular later on.
No.
One more?
Oh. Wait.
Oh.
First timer first before we. Family, hold back. Who was the other one back here? Name and where you're from.
Hi, my name is Bailey, and I'm from Guess. And I wanted to know, how is Lego using social media to create more of that story between the brand and the product?
Good question. Okay, so, I like to say in my old world of social, right, social has somewhat become the dumping ground for all things marketing communications, right? And I very much talk about how can you editorialize our expression on social, right? So how can you make sure that you're not being strong-armed by your product marketing team to just post what the product is and when it's releasing, and how can you do more brand-building entertainment content? So I think it's both, it's a little bit of a push-pull, as anything is in the world of marketing, and just making sure that you're consistently showing the value of not doing product-first type stuff.
Thank you. Hi, Abe Sorok. I run a firm called Leaders Atlas. Quick question, rapid fire, inspired by the questioner behind me. What's the nature of the impact of technology on Lego?
Internally, very big. Right, we're a manufacturing company at heart, so there's a lot of digitization that is happening behind the scenes that even I don't know about it. But as we sort of talked about earlier, right, it's a philosophical discussion because I think we are a physical product, and that's never going away, and it never should go away. In fact, I think that's the single biggest value proposition of what we do. It's about making sure that it's additive and complementary and doesn't overtake the experience. Yeah.
All right, 3 quick questions.
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
Window seat or aisle?
Aisle.
Okay. Aisle? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. What show are you binge watching now?
I am obsessed from a creative standpoint and even a brand marketing standpoint, the box-to-box productions. So Drive to Survive, Full Swing, Breakpoint. I think sports has one of the best storytelling components under it, and they've done probably the best at bringing that to life. So I can't wait. They're doing something with the MLS I just read. So, yeah.
All right. Favorite app and why?
Ooh, favorite app? I'd have to say Instacart, just because I use it the most. Sorry. Not sponsored. Yeah, Instacart.
Cool. All right. Anybody else?
Yes.
Going once.
I appreciate we are at 10, but I will say for those of the parents in the room, can you creatively direct something that doesn't puncture your feet when you step on it? It
No.
seems like it's your camp.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, after what I saw today with your business card, don't sell yourself short. Let's not say no already. Come on.
Fair enough.
I think maybe you have a new market for Duplo. So it's like 1 plus,
Yes.
and then maybe it's 85 plus.
That's, we like to say it's 1 to 99, right? That's on the product.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you
been
very
a lot
much.
of fun.
Thank
Give
you,
her a
everybody.
round of applause.